Kit&Tully by Mocha von B. Young adult romance with chills. 9. Wake Aonghus. But when we get back to the house, Baz isn't there. We all traipse through to the garage at the back, now the band's practice space. Screw Jenna anyway, Max snorts. The whole point of moving down here was because we needed to be together. Fuck's sake! Baz skiving off to Dublin the whole time is not going to work. How the hell are we supposed to rehearse? A tense 20 minutes pass while Max stomps around, cursing, growling and knocking stuff over. But there's still no sign of Baz. Let the kid have a go, Len says. He's up for it. Shit, Mac replies, slamming his fist against Len's drums. Okay then, fuck. Tully flushes, torn between a desire to prove himself to Mac and the boys and the knowledge that Mac clearly doesn't want him. Go on, Mac says at last. We haven't much choice, have we? Thanks to that wanker, the stupid fuck. His voice rises again and Len hits the drums. Mac laughs, breaking the tension, and Tully shoulders his guitar. Felice and Spike want to stay to watch, though I wish with all my heart we could leave. Listening to Mac yell and glower every time Tully messes up a chord is excruciating. It makes Tully worse, and I pretend not to notice him blush and fumble. Yet, as the rehearsal progresses, Tully starts to find his stride. Or maybe Mac just lays off. At the end, he comes over and claps Tully on the back. Not too bad for a rookie, he says. You did well, kid. This time, the glow that suffuses Tully's cheeks is one of pride. The hot summer days take on a rhythm of their own, and before we know it, July is almost over. At the weekends, Black Death pack up their gear and travel the country, playing gigs all over Ireland, in Cork, Limerick and Belfast. As their fame spreads, the venues and the crowds get bigger. Because Tully usually works the late shift and more videos for you, he's free during the day, and Max starts calling him at the last minute to fill in for Baz. This happens so often that Tully is getting to know the band, and their music, really well. But even though Baz misses rehearsals, he's always there for the gigs. Tully and I both feel sorry for Mac and spend hours discussing him and his troubles. The thing is, Spike and Felice get bored listening to me rhapsodise about Mac. They tell me he's not interested and I should find someone who is. But I can't forget the burning sensation of his arms around me when he threw me in the sea. He noticed me then, and if I can find the right moment, he'll notice me again. Fortunately, Tully sympathises with Mac Whitehead almost as much as I do. We can both see how frustrating it must be for him. This is their big moment. Black Death are on the brink of massive success, but Baz isn't playing his part. He turns up for the applause and the adoring fans at the shows, but when it comes to the day-to-day tasks, rehearsals, logistics, organising stuff, he just can't be depended on anymore. Even though I liked Jenna the one time I met her, I understand why Mac gives out about her. Tully tells me all about how Baz was Mac's best friend growing up, how the two of them started their first band at 13, how difficult it is for Mac now that Baz is no longer around. I love how Mac remains loyal to Baz despite everything, the way he places such a high value on their friendship, even though Jenna has driven a wedge right into the heart of it. I'm thinking about it as I look around at my friends. We're out at Felice's, the four of us, Felice, Spike, Tully and I. Somehow Tully has become part of our group. But now we have Mac Whitehead in common, I no longer mind having him around. We're lying in our spot, the hollow on top of the passage grave. It's the first time Tully's been up here with us. I can't believe nobody ever comes here, he says. They do sometimes, Felice says, but there's not much to see since he can't go inside. Do you think the Office of Public Works will ever open it up? I doubt it, Spike shrugs. They talk about it every now and then, but nothing ever happens. Aonghus doesn't want to be disturbed, Felice says with a laugh. A cloud passes over the sun, casting a shadow of darkness, and I shiver in spite of myself. Why does she joke about these things? The future is ahead, all around us. Black Death on the brink of fame. Spike on the cusp of leaving Drumshanra for university in Dublin. He's over the moon because the exam results are out, and he got his first choice, English and History in Trinity College, Ireland's oldest university, a landmark building bang in the centre of the city. Everyone else has the whole world in front of them, while I'm doomed to Drumshanra. A hand creeps through the grass and squeezes mine reassuringly. Tully. I don't look at him, but I feel his eyes watching me. What's the matter? He whispers softly. The others haven't noticed, but Tully seems to sense when my mood switches from light to dark or vice versa. I don't want to be a solicitor, I say. I feel like I'll be trapped here forever. You don't have to, Spike says. You can just choose something else. But that's where I hit a wall. I have no idea what I want to do. I like playing with thoughts and ideas, finding a way to express them, pin them down, put words to them to give them form and substance to bring them to life. But it's not true creativity, not like Felice's talent for art, or Spike's ready wit, or Tully's gift for music. What are you going to do after Trinity? I ask him. I'm going to be a music journalist, Spike replies. Write for Rolling Stone and NME. That's cool. Maybe you'll interview me someday, Tully says. You have to get famous first. Perhaps if you finally succeed in supplanting Baz. Not gonna happen. Beside me, Tully goes quiet. Jenna's going home to Kansas at the end of the summer, and Baz will be back with the boys. Mac talks of nothing else. You know what we should do, Spike says. We should ask Aonghus. An electric shock runs through me. We all want something, and we all know what it is. Spike is right. We could do it. We could make the wish. No, not this again. Felice rolls over in the grass, burying her head in her hands. Why did I say his name? Really, I thought you guys were over all that. Who's Aonghus? Tully asks. Aonghus is an ancient spirit sleeping below us in the passage grave. Felice rolls her eyes. Years ago, the three of us made up a story about him. Spike and Kit almost convinced themselves it was true. Aonghus was a Celtic god of music and love, I explain. The first part of our story was based on an old legend which says he wandered all over Ireland, but this was his home. I throw my arm wide to take in the field spreading below, down to a glittering glimpse of the river snaking its way towards Drumshanra. The second part was set in the present, where three kids decide to wake him. Did you really need to mention the second part? Felice is doing her best to maintain her habitual cool and not show she's embarrassed. 3 kids? Tully is grinning broadly. 2 girls and a boy, and one of them just happens to live beside an ancient Celtic burial site. Yes, but Spike isn't listening to Tully. The idea has taken hold of him exactly as it did 3 years ago. That's it. All we have to do is wake Aonghus. Not listening, Felice says loudly, covering her ears with her hands. How do you do that? Tully asks.